We know that this economy sits with only one kind of a people in this country, the minority, the white people. What are you going to do to get that to change?
Let's generate our own capital. The white capital has kept liquid cash in the banks and refusing to invest it back into our economy because of pure racist reason, that they do not trust black men and that they can't put their money in a country where they've got no guarantee. So rather liquid cash, because if anything happens, you just press transfer. But you can't transfer a building. Every white person that you know who's at that level, they've got South African passport and they've got a British passport or a German passport. Because they don't want. They are not here.
I wonder, I've looked at the manifesto and you speak about the 7 pillars. But one of the central issues and the central themes that I think keep recurring is the issue of the economy. In your view, what is it that the ANC got wrong with this particular economy? Why is it that we're not seeing the kind of growth that we need to see? Of course, we've got issues of joblessness. And then we'll speak about your own structural changes that I think you're proposing to try and mitigate against the problems of unemployment.
Thank you very much. The ANC got it wrong when it stopped industrializing. Remember the Bantustans, typical Bantustans who had no idea what was happening in the world. But every big township of the Bantustans had factories. They were producing things for themselves. I come from Sishiu. When we were growing up, we used to see people coming back from work, buy food. Because in the morning we won't see them, we were still sleeping. But in the afternoon, then it later made sense. They are working in the factories. They are producing clothes locally. Today, we don't produce anything. We don't produce toothpick. We don't produce the sticks of matches. And we expect to grow our economy. We have to, the ANC should have, from 1994, turned around the education, not RDPs. We should have made education free of charge, because the situation we find ourselves in now was deliberately created through education. For women, they were told you can't get educated because if you go to school, you won't get married. And then for men who had opportunity to go to school, Verwoerd said, what is an African child going to do with mathematics? He was saying, mathematics is for higher jobs, and the higher jobs are reserved. Therefore, even if you have mathematics, you won't make it. So we should have given people free and compulsory education. That every child must go to school, and if that child is still very young, the parents must take the responsibility to make sure these children go to school, skill them, then from there industrialize and beneficiate. When you take raw chrome out of South Africa, I can guarantee you now, you are creating jobs where it is going to be processed, because it must be converted into steel, and that process, it's labor intensive. And that's why the Chinese take our chrome as is. So we take our raw material. If you take out a diamond, it has to be polished, it has to be cut, and it has to be processed into a finished goods, which we can do ourselves if we own our own minerals. In Niger, they just made a decision. France, you are going to buy our product with a market price. It's no longer going to be discounted, and it's going to happen now. So you don't need anything. You need a political will, a determination. But the problem is that you've got a group of old men and women who are compromised from CODESA. We don't know what the Oppenheimer family discussed with them when they went into exile. They said to them, we're going to end apartheid. You're going to come back and rule South Africa, and it is going to be business as usual. Meaning you don't tamper with business. You can do those things of yours of politics. Where we are working, you won't do that. They agreed to it. We just know the issues that are above. We don't have the minute detail of what really transpired, because why would a person be scared to remove a statue of Kruger? You see, the good thing with me is that you can never put it to me that you're saying it now. You can go back to my videos, and I like these social media guys. They go and
bring back the archives.
Old videos.
Yeah.
I raised everything I'm talking about now. I raised it in the ANC. In the conference where I was re-elected president of the Youth League 2011, all these issues I'm raising are official resolutions of the ANC Youth League. Nationalization of the Reserve Bank, nationalization of mines, establishment of state bank, free quality, decolonized education, all of that. I raised it in the ANC. You go to FNB and listen to me speaking, Zuma sitting at the back and everybody else at Johannesburg Stadium with President Mandela being there, me speaking. I raised all of these issues. I was not leading a political party. I was not asking for votes.
Yes.
I was just raising these matters as matters of principle. So the point I'm making is, if you have not been compromised, why would we be scared? Leave the economy and everything. A statue of a murderer. Every town in the whole of South Africa, small or big, has got a statue honoring apartheid generals. And Mugabe said, you can't tell me about South Africans are even scared to hit a statue of a white person. That's how much we are so compromised. So we need a new generation, which is not part of those commitments. We don't owe Kodesa anything. We don't know what these guys discussed. They've had their 30 years to deliver on the product. We're a new generation with new challenges, and we cannot dare to Kodesa minutes which we don't have.
Your point is exactly that you've been raising these things for over some time. You're not the only person. Many people have been asking these questions. We know that the private sector sits with billions that they don't want to spend. We know that this economy sits with only one kind of a people in this country, the minority, the white people, and that's not transforming. What are you going to do to get that to change?
Let's generate our own capital. The white capital has kept liquid cash in the banks, and is refusing to invest it back into our economy because of pure racist reason, that they do not trust black men, and that they can't put their money in a country where they've got no guarantee. So rather liquid cash, because if anything happens, you just press transfer, but you can't transfer a building. You can't transfer an infrastructural development. So the rest will rather not entertain. I'm still to see very few white guys, maybe Carl Niels is one of them, who have no dual citizenship. Every white person that you know who's at that level, they've got South African passport, and they've got a British passport or a German passport. Because they don't want. They are not here. They are here physically because they are milking us, but they are somewhere else. So we need to create our own money. That's why we must own the state bank. You know, civil servants, this bank must give them bonds. They don't qualify, many of them, to get bonds. A teacher who taught me geography 15 years ago bought a Corolla. It was so beautiful and new, and Toyota Corolla was so excited. Met him this year, still driving the same car because he cannot afford to get a car, despite the fact that he's a teacher. We grew up teachers being the most respected people. The bank is refusing to give him, with all the years in teaching as a civil servant and all of that, he doesn't qualify for a new latest version of Corolla. This state bank must come in. They say, where are you going to get the money, because you need 250 million as a guarantee? Then I say to them, no, Reserve Bank owns shares in African Bank. Why does the regulator get involved in the banks? The Reserve Bank must pull out. We take that money, that is our share, and then we build our own state-owned bank, or we put more money and buy everybody out, and we buy Nedbank and convert it into a state bank.
There you have it, guys. Julius Malema is usually full of these revolutionary speeches. Sometimes you wonder where he gets them from. But whatever the case is, we really hope that his wisdom transcends, and really contributes to the development of Africa and in helping solving Africa's really myriad of challenges. But what do you guys think about his speech? Share your thoughts in the comments. Thank you for watching, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please share and like and subscribe, because that's the way you support Kwazemi as a channel, an Afrocentric channel, where we try to understand deeper issues in African history and hopefully develop a collective intelligence on how we wish to build the Africa we want to see as people of Africa. See you in the next one.